24/7 live podcast. I'm your host, James Magruder. Usually I have Tashi, but she's still having a hot girl summer apparently. She's not here. So shouts out to you. So it's been a long time since I've been here. And I just noticed like this, since the last time I was here with Tashi, there's a lot of stuff that we missed. Like a lot of stuff. Well, today's subject is hot girl summer, hot boy summer. What should fall be called? Like, should it be fuckboy fall? Like, what should it be? Like, I don't know. Like, let me know. So just give you a few things that has been going on since I've been gone off here. Here we go. I have a whole list. The Popeyes chicken challenge, which I still have yet to do. Burger King came out with a vegan Whopper. Miley Cyrus broke up with a boyfriend. Now she broke up with a girlfriend. She's doing too much. Lil Nas X came out. Nicki Minaj retiring from music, but if you ask me, she was forced to retire. And she's like now married to a murderer, so congrats to her. Beyonce came out with a movie called The Lion King, Part 1, 2.1, whatever. I don't know. I just made it up. But it was basically Beyonce King. We all know that. Aladdin came out, the second Aladdin. It's just been a lot of stuff has been going on. So I want to know, since everybody was like hot boy summer, hot girl summer, what should fall be? Because fall is like pumpkin iced something or other. What if Cammy says on my live, unfuckwittable fall? That's a good one. I mean, that's a good one. I mean, if somebody want to mess with you, whatever. It's just been a lot going on. So I want to know. Trust me. Text me. Call me. I want to know what you think. So yeah, because I don't know. I think F-boy fall is definitely mine because I'm definitely out here doing dirt in these streets. Believe it or not, even though everybody thinks I'm a good guy, I am a good guy. But, everybody has that side, like that, you got to be, everybody's going to be a hoe. I'm just going to say it. Right now I feel like it should be hoe boy fall. And that's it. Because I feel like all hot boy summer, I've been working. I actually just got a job. Oh, maybe I shouldn't tell you the job since I'm the way I'm speaking right now. But I just got an acting gig. I just got another job all at the same time, which is the reason why I haven't been on here as much. It's because I've been booked and busy. Actually, if you're in the Boston area, I will be at I am hosting the big stage at the Austin Street Fair next Sunday. What is that? Next Sunday. Oh, we have a phone call. Who's this? Hello?
Hello.
Hello. What's your name?
My name is Shatora.
Hi, Shatora. What's going on?
What's up?
Is he in the speaker? What's going on? So what is your so I was just discussing, what would you call the fall? What was it, since summer's coming down to an end, what would fall be for you?
Well, fall for me, honestly, I ain't shit in all seasons.
So you ain't nothing in all seasons. That's like me.
Oh yeah, sorry. I ain't nothing in all seasons.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, I'm not anything in all seasons either. So like, what?
I mean, it was a hot girl summer.
What did you do this summer?
This summer, I did a lot. Of course, had to visit Boston.
Oh yeah, because you're from Boston. Let's pretend that you're not my sister.
I definitely. I went to a lot of events this summer. I went to a concert by myself.
You know what? Sometimes you gotta do that.
Huh?
Sometimes you have to do that. You gotta go to a concert by yourself.
Yeah, I went to a concert by myself. I saw Davido.
David who?
Davido.
Oh, Davido.
He does Afrobeat. So
okay.
He's an artist.
He's African.
And it was a good concert. I ate a lot of crab legs this summer.
Okay.
I drank a lot of.
So you had crab legs, a hot girl. That don't sound too good. That doesn't sound very cleanly.
But yes, it was a very, very good summer.
Oh, that's good. So one thing I noticed is that in Boston there was a lot of hood parties. I don't know if you noticed that.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of hood parties, but a lot of barbecues that actually went well without the violence. The police didn't really come around this summer.
Okay.
It was actually it was a really good summer, like for Boston parties. I'm not even gonna lie, there was a lot of different parties, different events.
Yeah, but that's because they were charging people, so they didn't want people to get shot.
That is very true. They were charging people $20 to be in somebody's backyard, but they had the whole setup and everything. Had the hookahs going.
Listen, I don't do the hood. Okay.
Good music.
Sit around my neighborhood, and then we'll talk. Because I wasn't going to Mattapan, Dorchester. I'm just like, but nothing happened.
Yeah.
Which was surprising.
It was a very good summer for the hood parties. I'm not gonna lie. I think the charging of the people is what made it. I mean, they were charging club prices like $20, $30 at some just to be in somebody's backyard. But at the same time, like these parties were lit. I'm not even gonna lie, they were very lit.
That was amazing. Just the simple fact that there were no violence, for our community. Shouts out to you. I mean, I moved out of our community, but yes, shouts out to y'all because I have no time. I ain't risking it no more. Okay.
Right.
So,
and even though I do live in Atlanta, I still was out there for these parties.
Yeah,
like,
well, Atlanta,
they were very lit.
Atlanta is still, Atlanta has its moments. Because,
yes.
No. Even though you want me to come down there, but let's go to the Caucasian part. That's why I said Caucasian part. That's like, because I don't have time. I live in a nice, quiet, suburban neighborhood, and I like it that way. Okay.
Oh yeah, I do too.
Oh yeah, where you live?
Definitely.
You live on the outskirts.
Yes, I live in Marietta.
See that sounds like it has like no violence. I live in Marietta.
It's called Cobb County. Like, trust me, there's like they don't play around. People from the hood don't even come to Cobb County. They're like, oh, you live in Cobb County? Oh, I don't mess with Cobb County.
Because they be bored. They need stuff to do.
They're like, I don't mess with Cobb County because they already know how the cops be down here. They don't play those games.
So it's a hot cop summer. It's definitely a hot cop summer, but that's another subject for another show. All right. Thank you so much, Shatora, for calling in.
All right. Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. So thank you, Shatora, again for that because, man, Boston was lit. I'm not even going to lie. Boston was definitely lit, and it was very peaceful. So hot boy summer. She didn't tell me, though, what she would call the hot fall summer or cold, warm. It's not really warm. Because, see, the thing about fall in Boston is that it's super cold in the morning, and then during the afternoon it's blazing hot, and then it's down to 0 below again at night. So I don't know how it is in other places. The only place I've ever been that was consistently hot throughout the day was, where was it? Oh, my goodness. Virginia. So we got another caller calling in. Hello. Who's this?
Hi, this is Betsy.
Hi, Betsy. How are you?
Hola.
So, okay, so it's the subject right now is a hot girl summer. But since I don't know if you had a hot girl summer. Did you have a hot girl summer? Or did you have a hot work summer?
A hot slave working summer. How about that?
So what would you call fall? What would fall be? So I was like, fuck boy fall. What would fall be for you? You got to prepare these people. You got to prepare the ratchets. They need to know.
Probably a fall back Felicia.
Fall back Felicia. Well, that's a good one. I really like that. Fall back Felicia.
All the hot girls, they're trying to be Felicia. Felicia. You can't come into the fall.
That's a good. Hold on. I got to write that down. Fall back.
You better copyright that. Put my name on it.
What if Angela Mean see that, though? Fall back Felicia.
No,
fall back Felicia. Fall. I don't know if you can say fall twice, but forget it. You made it up. You can say fall back Felicia. Fall. Period. Point blank.
Period.
Yeah, I mean sometimes, and you know what? Especially at work, you know what I'm saying, Betsy? You have to let people know this is a fall back. Wait a minute. Fall back Felicia. Fall. Let everybody know. Facebook, Instagram Live. This is the. I don't care who's calling in next. This is the official word for fall. Fall back, Felicia, fall. That's it. Betsy, you won. Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you.
This is the official word for fall. That's so good. I don't. If y'all can call, y'all want to call in on my Instagram. I'm on Instagram Live as well as my Facebook. 857-366-544. Call in if you want to. But okay. So what's your plans? Like what? Who would you say fall back, fall to? Who's in the industry right now? Music right now? Could be the president. Could be anybody. Who is your official fallback fall person you want to say fall back to?
I don't know.
It could be a boss. It could be anybody. Who?
I don't know.
Who?
See, when you're slaving and you're working all summer, you're not worried about.
So it's your boss. You want to
but
say?
Then they start.
Maybe it's your bills.
Sure.
Your bills. That's it. Tell your bills.
Yeah.
You are fallback Felicia. This is fallback Felicia fall, and you trying to live your best life.
Yes, always.
Always. You know what, Betsy? You have the crown, and this is my imaginary crown. You can't see it, but I'm posting it to you on my screen. Here's your crown. Fall. Oh my God, I am so in love with that. That I really am. Thank you so much, Betsy. Hello?
No problem.
Have a good day. Fall back, Felicia falls in official effect. Oh my God, that was so good. Oh, so that's it, guys. That's the word. Fall back, Felicia fall. Like I wasn't even mentally prepared for that because I'm gonna tell you a little story since we're on fall back, Felicia fall. Before we get into our guest today is Beverly Leech. She's an actor, author. You might have seen it on Star Trek. That's how I know her. Because I'm a 90s kid. Classic, bunch of awesome movies and TV shows she's been on. She was in Mad Men, just like classic. So she's an actor. So if you have actor friends or anybody that want to get into acting, in the next half hour, you will want to listen in and call in. The call-in number is 857-366-5444. That is 5444. If you have active friends, this is the place you need to get by the next half hour. But like I was saying, I forgot what I was saying. Oh, fall back, Felicia fall. I have a person I want to say fall back to. And they already know because, all right, guys, this little secret you got to know. I got into an argument about a couple of weeks ago with a person who did me dirty in business-wise. And they don't know why we have friends that we have in common, so we always meet up and link. But they are like, "Why you would never say anything to me? Why? You know why? You did me dirty in a business situation." So I dedicate fall back, Felicia fall to you. You know who you are. You're probably watching right now. What up, kid? What up, Kelly? What up, Nero Brooker? I'm saying hi to my. I have ADHD, so I'm all over the place. But anyway, so hopefully, fall back, Felicia fall. I'm still stuck on that. That's genius. So Miley Cyrus just broke up with a boyfriend, and now she broke up with a girlfriend. You know what? That is the definition to me, though, of fall back, Felicia fall. She was living a hot girl summer. Now she's said, fall back, Felicia. It's fall's coming. I don't need you either. So shouts out to Miley to being all over the place like everybody else is. Because you know what? She's human. Her father's on Lil Nas X thing, so he's living his best life. He don't need her no more. Then Lil Nas X, we'll talk about, he just came out as gay. Who knew? Just like the most random thing. I'm taking myself to the Old Town Road, and then, hey, come out the closet no more. Hey, you know what? Shouts out to you. Live your best life at 20 years old. Like, who's going to stop you? Who else? Nicki Minaj? Jesus. Oh, Jesus. Oh my God. I have to go to Africa to talk about her because she said that she is retiring from music. You have been retired when Kanye B came out, when Remy Ma came out with the rap against you, and you said nothing, and you came out with nothing, eh? You came out with nothing, eh? And she beat you. And you think, oh, I still know, I have all this. No, Nikki, you are retired. You are retired because she forced you to retire. And now, Cardi B put her on it. Too bad for you. Eh? It's too bad for you. It's too bad. Yeah, so basically, you were forced to be retired, Nikki. Nobody is checking. I mean, you still pushing numbers or whatever, but don't do the thing where you retire and try to come back like Jay-Z did. I hate to say it, but like Nicki, female rappers are different from male rappers. You can't do what Jay-Z did. Jay-Z said he retired around the same age. Like Nicki's like 37 years old, and it's kind of hard for a female rapper to come back after she said she retired. If it's gonna be like a long stint, like she waits a whole year, that's way too long to decide not to come back. And you'll still have your base fans, but it's going to be hard to come back and push those numbers like you want to push it, unless there's like a resurgence for you. So I don't know about doing that, Nikki. I don't know if that's too smart. Hopefully you have kids. I know family over everything, and I get that, but you seem a little desperate though. I don't think you're in love with this dude. I think this dude really likes you, really liked him back in the day, and now you want to get with him because you think it's time to have a baby. But I personally don't think that he's the one. You just doing it because you want a baby by a murderer. Listen, I'm not judging because I know people with bodies too. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but it's true. Everybody that been in the hood or lived in the hood, somebody with bodies. Point blank, period. Right now. And some of them working at good jobs now, moved on with their life. So I can't make a judgment. But I feel like, Nikki, you should not be retiring unless you're like ready really not to come back. So I don't know. So hopefully Nikki gets her life together. Hopefully she don't come for Remy Ma or Cardi B. After she tried to come back for them, realized that wasn't working. Now she's with Megan Thee Stallion, that might kind of work for a little while, but like it's not gonna last. Megan is definitely on her thing. She got her education together. The first rapper with a degree that I know of that's not like a community college degree. She's actually getting her bachelor's. So, shouts out to Megan Thee Stallion. Like, she's really doing her thing, and she really looking like a gang gang. You know what I'm saying? So shouts out to her. The Lion King, Aladdin first. This is all the stuff I'm talking about. Let me go back. I'm talking about all the stuff that I missed since I've been gone. It has been a lot of stuff. So Lion King. It should really call it the Beyonce King because it's really like crazy how like it was just like I tell the truth, I can't take Beyonce really serious as an actor because she's such an artist. So it's really hard for me to believe Beyonce as an artist, as an actor, because it's like Beyonce, not because she can't act, it's just because she's Beyonce. So right now we have on air live with us Beverly Leech, actor and author Beverly Leech, who's here to talk about acting and what she's been doing, how she got into it. And actually I met her through my Instagram, and we just been going back and forth, and I was like, she knows that I'm an actor, that I just got a theater job. I've been super busy. I'm just like, speak to the people. I have actor friends that listen in, so I think listen, if you are an actor, you should definitely be listening right now. Grab your friends, tell them to listen in. Beverly?
Hi, how you doing?
I can't hear.
I was really glad to find you on Instagram too. Kind of serendipity.
Yes, it definitely is. I am so happy. Like I love to this part. I don't know if you listen in, but the first part of this podcast is Ratchet, talking about gossip and all those kind of things. But I'm very happy because we just sometimes we have just a natural connection with people and learning and talking. So I was just like, what, she would be a perfect person for my podcast. So thank you so much for even doing it.
Well, actually, I was attracted to you on Instagram through your own authenticity. I'm not much of a social media animal.
Yeah.
But I, adapt or die. And so I'm always on the lookout for people who I feel are authentic and grounded and have a great sense of humor. And I just loved your commentary on stuff. I went, I like this guy. I'd like to know what he what he has to say. And that's how I started following you back. So I wasn't even aware of the podcast at that time. So it was just a happy accident, I think.
You know, you didn't know about the podcast at the time is because, well, now that you know that I was in between jobs, I just got a job and then I got the acting job. So I literally had no time to do this podcast like at all. I was just like, there's no way this is going to happen right now. It was just like,
how is that going for you? I'm very excited that you're doing a theater production, right?
Yes. It's like the murder mystery.
Good.
Yeah, so it's more than just acting now. It's like literally like you're having several hats and trying to train and learn your lines, and it's also mostly half of it is improv. So you got improv and then
it's exhausting. Aren't you exhausted by the end of the day?
Oh, just the training and the learning the lines itself and know what I was like, oh man, what did I get myself into?
Yeah, stage, but that's just what's going to build your muscle for sure.
Yes.
Because I'm very, very blessed to have had a television career, but if I started on stage, and that's where you get your chops.
That's what everybody's been telling me, because I had the opposite.
You have to have. They don't understand. People who haven't done stage don't understand the stamina and the discipline that's needed to do that. You know, so I was really pleased to hear that you'd gotten it. Don't downplay it. It's just a murder mystery. It's still work.
It's work. It's a paying, continuous paying acting job. That's what I'm happy about. I'm just like, I'm an actor now.
It's work, you know, and building a resume is very important, and that it all counts, you know. I did dinner theater when I started out, you know, so it's all right. I was a chorus girl when I started out. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all right. We have to start there. And if you don't earn your bones that way, I failed to develop self-respect,
right?
Because it took a lot of self-discipline to show up to a job that I didn't feel had the kind of esteem I deserved, and then my ego gets involved, and the ego is just a total card to fail on. So
yes, I understand that.
Developing some humility and self-respect is key, and we all have to start at those jobs. It's great. I'm very, very pleased, and you're on your feet.
I am.
You know?
I'm very happy. I'm nervous and very, very happy at the same time.
Good.
So let's start. Okay, let's start way back. How did you get into acting? Like, when did you start? What was your first?
I was born and raised in I was born and raised all over, but I was raised in Texas. I'm a Texan girl, and I was in Houston. And I never really wanted to be an actor, to tell you the truth.
Oh, okay.
I burned to be a dancer, a good dancer, a great dancer. And I worked I really wanted to be a ballet dancer, and I had several jobs. My parents were modest, middle-class parents. They had money. They had some means. But if I really wanted to do anything, I had to have, jobs to pay for that. So I sacked groceries, and I babysat, and I did all of that. Mm-hmm. And eventually ended up at the Houston Ballet. And was in their core to ballet classes around the age of 17 or 18. And then my parents saw that I was what profession I was moving towards, and they kind of shut that down.
Oh, really?
I think they were not at all. They were not at all keen to me being a professional dancer at all, and so that caused a lot of, let's say, interruptions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, because most parents are like, you want to be for a living, go to school.
Yeah, right. And so I did. I went to school, and I majored in dance, and I got a minor in computer science, and took all of those kind of skills at a time that there weren't computers. Like, we're in an age now where everything is digital and computerized and stuff. But back then, it was a little-known industry.
Yeah.
And so I got training in things that would allow me to do part-time jobs once I got out of school. Because I knew that at the beginning stages of any market, I would have to start wherever I was and have a part-time job to be able to afford the rent and the headshots and everything else I needed. But I was actually at Florida State University, which has a huge drama department, but I was part of their fine arts program in the dance department. I was a killer dancer, just strong.
Wow.
And I got plucked to do the role of Peter Pan.
Oh, really?
And it was complete serendipity, happy accident. I was actually just taking what do they call the extracurricular courses, and it was an introduction to drama.
Wow.
I can't believe it. It was an introduction to drama. It was one of those things that people take just so they can say they took it, but there was no challenge in it. But our final exam was to audition for the theater department, just so we could experience what it was like to audition.
Right.
And we had to have 16 bars of a tune and a 2-minute monologue, and that was my final exam. And so I went to the theater general auditions. Not a big deal. They all knew that we were all flunkies coming up, and they were being very tolerant of us. And the next thing I know, I was cast as Peter Pan.
That's crazy.
And I was absolutely certain they'd made a terrible mistake. A terrible mistake.
You're like, I'm a dancer.
Listen, dancers are all about shut up and dance.
Right.
Do not speak ever in class or during performances. They don't speak. And I didn't think I could sing, and I certainly didn't think I could act. In fact, I'd been given one speaking line in a musical comedy that I had been hired in. It was a professional production, and it was taken away from me because I was so terrified. I wet my pants and hid behind the guy in front of me. I tittled in my panties.
Oh my God! And, tittle in my panties.
I was terrified. My voice was shaking. It was barely a whisper, and I hid behind the guy that was standing next to me to say my line, and they said, she can't handle it, and they took it away and gave it to someone else, and I was so relieved when they did that. So when I got picked to do Peter Pan, which is a huge role, I went to the director with the script and tried to quit immediately. You have no idea. This will be a disaster. I have no idea how to speak or act or sing. I've never sang before. And he said, I heard you sing at the audition. I saw your monologue. You have no idea who you are.
Wow.
I was strong-armed into this, and I did it with great fear and great trepidation.
Wow.
And ended up getting like statewide, region-wide press on the AP network. It was a breakout moment for me, where I think the universe conspires to force me on a path that I had no plans for, none whatsoever. And so I took that note, and after that, by the way, things healed with my parents.
Oh, yeah, I bet.
They came to see the show. I was estranged from them at that point because they still didn't agree with me being, they didn't agree with me being a dancer. I worked my way through college.
Oh, wow.
I worked my head off to get through college because they weren't going to support the tuition on that either. So, but once they saw that production, they got it. They finally admitted I had some talent, and they were very supportive after that in terms of emotional and spiritual and familial support. But I really had to earn that, from them. I had to prove it to them that I had it. And so that was a great turning point on several levels.
I just want to make a point of I think it's important to let people know that but I'm different because all my family is basically actors and doing stuff, music or whatever. But I hear stories like this where people think, oh, my family don't believe in me, or I can't do it, so they just give it up. I think it's important to be 2 points actually. It's important to keep going for yourself, no matter what. You have to keep going, no matter how you feel about yourself. I think it's important to keep going. Also, I just forgot my other point. Jiminy Crickets. But anyway, besides that, just keep going. So I just want to make sure that people know that no matter what.
I didn't understand the calling. All I knew is that it was a call, and I was compelled to do it.
That's what I was going to say.
The dancing part. I was compelled. There was not anything that was going to. It was the one thing that I loved the most in the world. And I grew up a tomboy. I was not a girly girl. I ran barefoot, had fist fights, climbed trees. My favorite thing to do was lay in the grass and make animal shapes out of clouds.
I didn't do that. I lived in the hood, so I picked up animal crackers from the floor, and then was running when I heard the gunshots. But different life.
Right. I was not groomed for beauty queens, But Texans, they do have. they actually have. They groom their women for grit. You have to be aware of the beauty pageants, but also be able to plow the North 40. I mean, there's kind of this kind of inner strength that they demand that you have, and I had it. And plus, I'm stubborn Irish, which is either an asset or a defect, depending on what side of the sword you're falling on that day. But, I had enough stubbornness in me to say, I'll do this no matter what. There was hard years after college too, and this was also before the days where everything was online. If I wanted to go to an audition as a dancer, I actually had to call a hotline to each regional theater that was paying actors and dancers and singers.
There was a hotline?
It's called a hotline. Yeah, you would call I would call union houses, professional houses, because I figured out that even union houses, if you have all union, and I was non-union for years, there's always a certain percentage that they're obligated to hire of non-union actors and singers and dancers, so that you can earn your bones and you still get paid. So I would call up all of these theaters up along the coast and throughout the Southwest region, find out what their audition schedule was, and I would take a Greyhound, and I would ride from Texas to Florida, or I would get a car and I would turn up some Billy Joel, and I'd just drive out to Florida or Georgia or wherever they were having the auditions, and I went up and down the coast doing that, and I learned how to audition badly, and I learned how to audition well. There's a certain benefit to falling on your face over and over again and sort of get the figure it out. Figure it out.
I'm making another point with that. With actors, anybody auditioning, you're gonna get a whole lot of no's before you get a yes.
Right.
No matter who you are. I mean, I have friends out there who just gave up being an actor. I mean, they had the look and they can really act, but they thought instant gratification was going to happen. I'm gonna get this, I'm gonna get that, because LA to Boston and New York is 3 different markets for acting and anything else. Right. Period. So you have to know where you're going, who you're going for. LA, there's no way you're gonna get a lot more no's in comparison to a Boston situation.
But
you have to know that.
There's a whole lot of, if you're in those major markets like LA or New York or even Atlanta now and Dallas, the sort of mini hubs, there's a lot of non-union work posted every day online that you can submit yourself for, including stage. You know, so non-union actors do have access to commercials, reality shows, television spots, co-stars, things like that. They have access to that.
Yeah,
they just have to be willing to put in the time every day and every night to submit themselves for it and be with those casting sites. I mean, I'm assuming, or maybe I shouldn't assume anything, that starting out actors, even in markets like Boston and Chicago, that they know how to get online and sign up for Actors Access with breakdown services.
There's a lot of people that don't.
Casting Frontier and casting networks and things like that to look for the non-union work or even the stage work, because it's important to build a resume with that kind of work before you get an agent. Agents aren't going to look at you without a reel, and that's how you get it. You get these smaller parts on TV shows or commercials, and you build a reel, and you build your resume the same way. And you asked me in this, you gave me some brief questions that you might ask, I remember I got my, that's how I built my resume. The first 5-6 years I was working in godforsaken Texas in these miserable places. And then I finally got some summer stock. I got in with a really good equity company doing summer stock in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, and I was there for 2 or 3 seasons. and I started to get write-ups in the press and for different, supporting roles. And I invited a Dallas agent to come see me. She turned me down 3 years in a row.
Wow.
But, by the third year, I had enough credits, and she knew enough people in the company that would vouch for me. And she came out to see another client in the show. And it just so happened that I already sent my packet to her, and she saw me and signed me. So I was able to start then doing commercials and local television and small films that they were casting regionally.
Yeah.
A lot of these big films, they cast all of the leads and the large supporting leads in L.A. and New York. But all of the smaller supporting roles, that's all local talent. They come out of Atlanta and Texas and Boston and Chicago, all of those, Seattle, all of those smaller markets. They hire locals all the time. So it's still possible to get in a good film that way.
Yeah. So my question is for like non-union and union work. Even though you have a book, so I don't want to say too much, but is it better to be a non-union when you can't be in a union before getting an agent, or you can? Because there was a point where I did so much background that like they would just put SAG. I get SAG for the day. But at the time, I thought I was SAG. I was like, no, it's just SAG for the day. You would get your SAG pay for the day, which mean like SAG after. So like, let's say they're using like smoke for the day or whatever, and that's like, I don't know what you call it, but like you would get paid for that because they used the steam or whatever you want to call it. I don't know.
Right. Well, I think there's some sort of understood line between doing background work and doing co-star work, which is 5 and unders.
Right.
So it's the speaking roles that's going to get the agent's attention. You can still get you can still be SAG eligible doing extra and a regular speaking role, 5 and unders and stuff, the co-stars. But it's the co-stars. It's going to be the speaking roles that are going to get the agent's attention. So you have to be real careful about what you put on there. Make sure that all of your, you lead with your strong suit on your resume.
Right. I'm definitely not putting like background and stuff on my resume. Like you said, no, I already know they don't care about that. They're like, okay, great.
I didn't think that you were, but I wasn't sure if anybody listening in would get confused about that. I think that you can become SAG eligible and decide if you want to do union work. It's my understanding that every union set is allowed to hire non-union performers, but once you do enough SAG work and you're eligible, the next union job you go up for, you have to join.
Okay.
So yeah, you have to join. SAG eligible means you can't keep floating.
Right.
There is a kind of actor union limbo. What is that called? There's a limbo out there that allows you to not join the union but still continue to work on union shows. Because
you're acting like, let's say you don't have an agent, so now when you do that, so now it cuts your acting thing in half, like by not doing non-union work.
Well, here's the good news. In the past 2 years, you want an agent, and the agent wants you to have a union card. So if you get to be SAG eligible, that's your ticket to get an agent.
Mm-hmm.
The good news is that over the last year and a half, I've noticed that agencies that normally only sign union actors also represent non-union people.
Okay.
And in the commercial world, especially more distinctly, because a lot of union work in commercials have gone non-union.
Right.
And but the commission points are terrible for actors that way.
Right.
You go with a non-union. There are non-union agencies, but the commission points are terrible. In a union agency, you only pay the agent 10%, but in non-union, you pay them 20%.
Jeez. I might just give you my check.
Yeah. So after taxes, that really cuts into it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes having that extra 10% in your pocket means the difference between a full meal or beans and a ham hock.
Listen, we can some ramen noodles and a Pepsi.
Some ramen. Oh, you speak my language, my dear. You speak my language.
So let's fast forward to you're getting jobs. What was your first big show? Your first big movie?
Excuse me. My first big show. Well,
yes.
Sorry about the silence. I'm still here.
Yeah, I was like, oh.
I'm trying to think. Yeah,
she's trying to think, y'all.
I'm trying to decide whether or not I should fast forward from Texas, breaking out in Texas, or what brought me to LA. I actually had some really good luck in Dallas.
Okay.
And my big goal was not to be famous, but I really wanted to be a triple threat on Broadway. I literally had a ticket in my purse, money in the bank, and a sublet set up with a roommate in New York. And 2 weeks before I was supposed to leave, I was finishing up summer stock, and I got a call from my agent saying, "You need to, you've been booked." And I went, "On what?" And she said, "Star Search." I said,
"Wow,
what in the devil is Star Search?" And I had never seen it. I'd never heard of it. You know, it was in its it was just still in its first season. I wasn't really home to watch television because I was working every night doing summer stock. So,
let me explain the Star Search to the younger millennials in the Z's. Star Search was the original American Idol.
That's right.
Period.
The original American Idol. And I didn't even audition for that show, so I was really surprised that I had been booked on it.
Wow, so you didn't even audition. You just been booked.
Yeah, I was booked. So here's how that happened. So when I said learn to audition, they actually do send talent scouts. So Universal had sent a talent scout out to the Houston and Dallas market, and all I was required to do was go in, introduce myself, do a short comedy and a short dramatic piece, and call it a day. And that would have been a year or so prior. And apparently they kept me on their shelf, and they pulled it down and said, "She'd be great for this show. Let's bring her."
Oh, wow.
So something I had auditioned for many, many months ago and completely and totally forgot. And it was for a general audition. It wasn't even for that show. It was just for a scout from Universal.
Oh, okay.
Letting California know what the local talent was about. And so they pulled me to do that show based on that scouting trip.
Okay, cool.
And I hadn't seen it. I didn't have a TV. That's how broke I was.
Oh, wow.
Oh no, I was I struggled for a lot of years. I drove into Dallas to watch the show, and I went, "Oh my God, this is a game show. I'm supposed to be in New York. I've got things to do, folks. I'm going to be a Broadway star. Don't they understand?"
She was like, "I don't want to do American Idol Senior."
Yeah, I mean, LA wasn't even on my radar. You know, it was always New York, and my agent talked me out of turning it down. She said, "Relax, Bev. You can always rebook your tickets for 2 weeks later. You'll go out there, you'll throw it down, you'll earn some money, you'll come home and go back to New York. It'll all be fine." And 3 months later, I was still in LA.
Wow.
And yeah, I was on it for 12 or 13 episodes.
Wow.
I know. So it's sort of kind of like the Peter Pan story. Just when you think you've got a plan, the gods laugh.
Right.
And I ended up in LA. I just ended up in LA. And you know, the good news is that Broadway shows still audition in LA. So eventually I did do Broadway by auditioning for a show in LA, for them in LA. And, you know, I was of that caliber. I did do that show, City of Angels, in New York at the Virginia Theater. It was like a lifelong goal of mine to be on Broadway. So
that's pretty cool.
That was pretty cool. I really felt good about that. But you know, I had to do a lot of regional theater to get there. So, you know, and I had to fail at a lot of auditions before I got the one that clicked.
Yeah, that's what one thing I want to say again. Just reiterate is like, you cannot stop no matter how much. Even if it's other people that don't believe that try to stop you, or yourself that try to stop yourself, like, no, I'm focused on this. I want it. Your destiny will always push you towards what you're supposed to be doing, regardless of what you're like. I'm gonna be this. Your destiny's like, no, God or whoever you want to say, whatever you believe.
That is right.
It's like, no, this was written for
God's
you.
going to make that happen. That's
Right.
right. That is right,
It's
brother.
going to happen. You're like, no, but I want to do this. Yeah, that's cute for now, but this is what you're going to be doing. It's like the universe is Joe Jackson, and we're all little Michaels just going along.
Yeah, and I had to stop judging. I had to stop judging the things that I was going out for. Like when I did that original Scout audition, I didn't know what that was about. It was just a general audition, not for that particular show, and I forgot about it. I was judging that Star Search when I got on it, and it turned out to be the best thing that ever happened to me. It catapulted me in a completely opposite direction.
Right. That,
by the way, it challenged me. I felt like it was taking me away from where I needed to be. But, life interrupted. And when I was auditioning for Broadway, speaking of auditions, I was very nervous. I had this killer song. It was City of Angels. It's all jazz, very difficult score. And I had a killer song lined up, and Lush Life, and Strayhorn. And I was really good at it. Mm-hmm. But I was nervous to sing for these people because they were Broadway. And so I took every single ticky-tacky audition I could to test out my material. And I went to dinner theater. I went to Equity Waivers.
Yeah.
They may have been auditioning Ado Annie for Oklahoma, but I was singing Lush Life and this kind of dramatic, boozy, sound. And I was just testing. I was trying out my material over and over so that by the time I got to the Broadway audition, I'd already made all of my mistakes and I felt confident enough to stand in my shoes and just face the house, because that's where it is when you're singing that song for the first time in front of these people for the first time. But I already made a ton of mistakes in other auditions, and I knew how to course correct before I got in front of the big people,
Right. I mean, that's pretty important to know. Like when practice, people always want to, like that was me. Like I just wanted to force myself to do other things, but it's like you have to fall back and mess up and learn in different areas before you can, even if you don't think so, you have to, because it teaches you so much before you even get there, because there's more lessons to be learned when you get there that wasn't a part of that lesson as an actor.
Well, and I love that you said that, James, because that means that you honor yourself, even those little things, even those things that don't seem to be important or aren't quite up to snuff. You honor yourself every time you show up.
Yeah.
You honor your craft every time you show up. You answer the call,
But
that compels you. Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say that it's focus was radio, but acting always comes up like the last thing. It's like the most random things. I'm just gonna do this, and it ends up being a little bigger than what I anticipated. So I'm like, okay, what are you trying to tell me? Like, is this
right?
It? and I've been learning the hard way. Actually, this is why I know this, to fall back and listen and learn and try to observe what is going on here, the little things, the big things. So yes,
which I love about you. I think that's what a lot of actors, young actors, ambitious actors lack, is curiosity and humility. Mm-hmm. And you seem to have that in spades.
Well,
seriously,
sometimes.
And it is super key for survival to have both of those assets in your pocket, and they're personal. They're things that you are paying attention to and nurturing. And I guess that's why I followed you on Instagram.
Yeah, I'm so happy.
Guy's authentic. I like him.
I was like, I was like, oh my goodness. I was like, I've definitely seen her, and I saw yes. I say Star Trek Get Up. I was like, oh my God, I know exactly who this is, because I didn't watch Star Trek before that. So I'm a kid of the '90s, so I already know who you are. When I saw that, I never watched Star Trek before then.
I was so gobsmacked to be with Ron Glass. Oh
wow,
my God,
amazing!
What an incredible man. He's so gorgeous. I was very quiet around him because I had a secret crush. I was happily married, but I had a secret crush.
She was like, so. Now we was talking about having a hot girl summer. That would have been a hot girl summer for you, but he's married. We're not touching that.
Charismatic. Oh my God. He radiated a kind of spirit about him that I just adored being around. So, But when I did, one of the things that may help you and others, and the things that I paid attention to too, when I said, "Wait, you said you're in radio and that's your main gig, and you do these other things." When I was dancing, and I realized that I was starting to get these acting roles, and I was really fumbling and kind of confused about what direction I was going in, I just said, you know what, just pay attention to your training.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why you're getting booked all the time as a dancer is because you went to the Houston Ballet and you got the best training available.
Right.
And so that's what I did. I started looking around, even in smaller markets, for the best training available. And I mean method acting. I studied with Stella Adler. I was lucky enough to, she used to come out to L.A. twice a year, and I studied extensively with her. She changed my life. She got rid of all sorts of bad habits, really taught me how to dig down deep and so that I could do character work. And it was the best decision I ever made, the best money I ever spent, was studying with her, because she was a heavy hitter. She trained Marlon Brando and Robert De Niro and, Salma Hayek. I mean, Benicio del Toro. She's got tons of muscle, and she really made it clear that at some point, being a leading lady and being beautiful is going to cause a downfall. Because at some point, can I say the word ASS?
Yes, ass. Go ahead.
One day, my neck is going to crinkle up like a turkey, and my ass is going to drop, and I'm not going to be able to work because I'm not a beauty queen anymore. So what she taught me were the tools to access depth and breadth in character work. Character work is for all ages, so that I could continue to work as an actress as I aged.
Right.
It's very difficult for beautiful women to find work past 40.
Wow.
Because they're not the beauty queen anymore. I mean, some have already established a name, and they continue to work no matter what because they've got incredible skills. I mean, they're just great actresses.
I have a pretty friend that's in that realm right now. I don't know. She's not looking, not paying attention. I should have called her friend. I should have associated somebody I worked with. What I've noticed about her, especially like as an actor, like you study different things after you notice people's, even in their personality. She's a very laid back personality, and she doesn't really have like a personality. She doesn't really have one. And she went out there for acting and do all these reality shows. Like she has the numbers and all that stuff because she was on. I'm not gonna say, but a big.
Oh, you don't have to. Yeah.
A big market show, reality show, and she's got a whole bunch of stuff. But she's not. And she's done little social media things with other famous social media people. But I don't think that she has. I think she's just getting off of her own self. Like, oh, like. I'm not gonna say she bought a body, but she bought her body. So she was a little different when after a few months, we didn't see her on social media. So I'm like, okay, she's doing all this stuff, but I don't think she has the skills. I understand, like, she has to really get down and dirty when it comes to learning acting, even if it's just social media stuff. That's still acting.
Well, and it also comes, I don't think actors or creative artists it doesn't matter. As you age, you have to have a healthy self-esteem. You have to be able to look at yourself and go, I love this body. After 3 kids and 2 divorces, it's looking kind of round and fuzzy, but I'm going to go with it.
Right.
I'm going to love this. I'm going to market this and love this the best way I can, because not everybody can afford plastic surgery.
Right.
Right.
So what I want to get into really quick, though, is your book. People.
Okay, yeah.
Beverly Leech, Actor Muscle, Craft, Grit, Wit, a professional's guide to the business of acting.
Yeah.
That was a lot.
I know it's a long title.
Where can people get that?
It's already been in print for a few years, so I wrote that to serve actors. To be of service to actors. During the Bush years, when the stock market exploded and all the banks were losing their minds, and there was also concurrently the writer's strike, and then SAG was having trouble negotiating its contract, and so there was a job. There was just a job. There were no jobs.
Right.
Not anywhere. Nobody was working, and my husband and I looked at each other and said, we gotta have a plan B. So I started teaching for these academies locally. And they wanted me to teach business of acting class, and it was a serious class. It lasted 4 or 5 months. It was part of their curriculum for their graduating seniors, and they would have professional actors and directors teach this class. And I had a monster syllabus. It was really good, and unfortunately, and I would teach it for other academies and locations too. And like South Coast Rep had a summer program. But anyway, I'm digressing. Sorry about that.
Yeah. We only have a couple of seconds.
Yeah, it was an expensive class. And I went, well, that's not fair to the kids, to the young actors who are out there right now on the streets of LA trying to cobble it together. So I took that curriculum and put it in simple terms and made it affordable for the struggling actor. It's only like, I don't know, maybe $20-25, and
I think it's a good investment.
Yeah, it's a real step-by-step program on how to break into the business and do it in a real practical way. You have to, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
Right.
You know, you have to work smarter, not harder. I have a lot of shortcuts in there, not on how to get famous or easy ways to get it, but it pretty much lays it out in real simple terms and how to do it step by step. So there's no guesswork involved.
So how can people reach you? Or reach you as far as social media? I don't know if you want them on social media. Beverly Leech, at Beverly Leech.
I have I have a Facebook page. I have an Actor Muscle Facebook page. I have a Beverly Leech Facebook page. I also have Instagram and Twitter, and you can reach me at any of those social places. I have to say, I've had too many stalkers in my lifetime.
Real the Trekkies. I bet you it was the Trekkies.
Yeah, so I don't get out my
I knew it was the Trekkies
anymore. That's a total no-brainer. I actually had someone show up on my doorstep from Seattle once who wanted to meet me, and it was like because I accidentally left my, I don't know, they figured it out through my email, and they're like, God.
Well, you don't have to worry about that for me. I can tell you that much.
I know you're awesome.
But Bev, thank you so much. By the way, I called her Bev one day. I was like, Bev. She was like, you called me that. Thank you so much for being on my podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for dropping this knowledge for like all my actor friends. Like, thank you so much. And I'll see you soon. I'll hear from you soon. We'll talk later.
All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Bev. See you guys later. I'll see you next week. If you are in Boston, please, I'm at the Alston Street Fair next Sunday from 12 to 6. Okay? Gang. Thank you. See you next time.